It's Wednesday, October 18. This is the news on PBCJ. I'm Carol Francis. At least 10 people have been detained, including one person of interest, since the initiation of Zones of Special Operation ZOZO in a section of the Denham Town community in Kingston. Prime Minister Andrew Holness declared the area as the second zone of special operation yesterday. Simone Absalom visited the community and filed this report.
The presence of the security forces did not deter residents from resolving issues in violent clashes, ending quickly with the officers' intervention. No one was detained at that point. Noting the number of detainees by late afternoon on the first day of the operation, Superintendent Stephanie Lindsay urged wanted persons to surrender to the police. She told our news team that the residents have been largely receptive to officers carrying out the operation.
We know that the security forces are operating in a very professional manner, so the citizens welcome that kind of behavior, and we hope that as we continue to work, the various communities within the zone, at the end of it, we can have a renewed and an improved relationship between the police and the citizens.
Head of Jamaica Defense Force Civil Cooperation and Media Affairs, Major Basil Jarrett, echoed the superintendent's observation, but said he is aware of the large number of gang members in the area. He says at least 12 gangs are in the community, describing them as violent and unpredictable. Major Jarrett says area searches have already begun, and he asked for the residents' continued cooperation.
It's important to understand that the Zone of Special Operations will, from time to time, have curfews in place. Once a curfew or a cordon is in place, then there will be restrictions on movement into and out of the area. And so it is highly recommended that persons who have business to do in Denham Town travel with an appropriate form of identification to make the process as smooth as possible.
Acceptance of the security forces' presence is only one point of interest in the ZOZO. Superintendent Lindsay says the incentive for the Get the Guns initiative has been diversified.
Once the information that you give leads to the recovery of this weapon, you get a $150,000 incentive, and that's per firearm. There's also $100,000 for pistols and $75,000 for revolvers.
The House of Representatives yesterday passed a bill to absolve Jamaica's national heroes and their supporters from criminal charges made against them by colonial governments. Minister of Culture, Gender, Entertainment and Sports, Olivia Babsy-Grange, who brought the measure to the House, said the removal of criminal liability does not signify a rewriting of the story of their heroic stance against slavery.
We, the children of our ancestors, have by this act expressed complicity with them in their heroic stance against oppression and enslavement. We stand by our heroes and unsung heroes as we absolve them of all criminal liability, pledging never to forget their historic and selfless thrust for justice, their unwavering belief in their personal dignity and integrity, and their self-effacing sacrifice for their grandchildren and their children.
In his contribution to the debate on the bill to absolve certain national heroes from criminal liability arising from their participation in the fight for freedom, equality and self-determination, Clarendon Central Member of Parliament Mike Henry turned the spotlight on the British monarch, Queen Elizabeth II.
I recognize what the Queen's Council has done in preparing a Class A action, because I do agree, and I'm sure I can say it very freely. The Queen should be taken to her own court. She should be tried before her own court in a Class A action. I want that court to say that we are wrong in demanding that the greatest act of man's inhumanity, the man of the slave trade, needs to be apologized and compensated for, and recognition of the Rastafarian in repatriation.
Jamaica signed a $300,000 agreement yesterday that allows for accessing of funds from the Green Climate Fund. The money will be used to assist mitigation and adaptation programs being undertaken. Minister without portfolio in the Ministry of Economic Growth and Job Creation, Darrell Vaz, said the grant will go a far way in improving Jamaica's disaster readiness.
As we are signing this agreement, the Climate Change Division has advised me of another grant for $580,000, which has been approved for Jamaica and which we will be signing very shortly. As you heard from Permanent Secretary Sewell, this first grant is to strengthen the capacity of the Climate Change Division, the national designated authority in Jamaica, to engage with the fund. The second grant will be used to crowd in the private sector to strengthen their capacity to access GCF resources for increased climate action.
Falmouth's noted Georgian architecture and rich historical heritage will take center stage today with the inaugural staging of the Falmouth Heritage Exposition. The Heritage Expo, which will be held in Water Square, is designed to boost civic pride in Falmouth by highlighting its structural and cultural heritage. It is also intended to foster a civic-minded community that values its heritage and works together to preserve its unique built environment as a distinct element of its tourism product. A highlight of the expo will be the launch of an updated interactive heritage map of Jamaica. The map illustrates cultural and natural heritage sites across the island. The event is part of the Sustainable Destination Alliance of the Americas initiative. Following a highly successful inaugural Carnival in Jamaica initiative, the Ministry of Tourism is once again collaborating with the Ministry of Culture, Gender, Entertainment and Sport and the National Carnival in Jamaica Stakeholders Committee to launch Carnival in Jamaica 2018. The initiatives will be used as the umbrella brand for all Carnival activities during the peak period of March 31 to April 8, 2018, making it a national product. The move forms part of broader efforts to enhance and package various local entertainment offerings to attract more visitors to the island. The launch is slated to take place tomorrow. In regional news, Dominica's Prime Minister Roosevelt Skerrit is calling on individuals, civic groups and churches to play a greater part in the cleanup of the country.
If we see a shortcoming in the state's efforts, the question is, can you not fill that gap yourself? Can your organization not fill that gap? Rather than sitting and criticize, because it is easy for all of us to criticize, but at the end of the day, criticisms really sometimes will not bring any effective improvement or change. It is by our actions, by our deeds, that we're going to make an improvement. But so I really want to look at this, and it is the government's intention to maybe declare a day of caring, where all of us can spend the day going to the neighbor, going to somebody's home and see what help the person needs. You know, there may be people who have salvaged some of the furniture. There may be people who have salvaged some of the clothes, but who need somebody to go to the river to help them wash.
Over in Trinidad, students of the University of the West Indies St. Augustine campus are demanding better security. They staged a protest Tuesday and voiced their demands. Dion Baptiste from CTV News reports.
Enough is enough! Safety first! Enough is enough! Safety first! Code red! Code red! Code red! Code red!
The chant of frustrated students led by the UE Student Guild as they delivered letters to the principal and head of security at the St. Augustine campus on Monday. According to Guild President Jonathan Nahus, there has been a marked increase in the number of reports of criminal activity on the UE St. Augustine campus, among them robberies and reports of sexual assault. Students have made recommendations for additional security measures to be implemented. The suggestions have been handed over to the university administrators for their consideration.
This is our campus where we are supposed to come and pursue our educations. We have the right to feel safe here. And we have the right to be heard, and we have the right for these reasonable requests. So today, We stand here to show that we are supporting this proposal that we all drafted together last week.
Vice President of the UE Guild, Daria Narain, said the effects of a growing criminal element can be felt not only on campus, but in communities across the country. He urged students to take a stand not only for improved security measures on campus, but for a safer, better Trinidad and Tobago.
Our safety and security has been taken for granted on the campus, and we need to ensure that measures are put in place to better this, to improve our systems all around the campus. We are students who need to come here onto this environment and feel safe, to feel secure, and to feel as if our education is not being put at risk. We need to strive for a better country. We are all responsible for our community. So it starts here. This is our home. Is this not our home? Yeah. This is our home, and we're going to go the extra mile to ensure that our safety and all the students' safety is accomplished.
The first leg of the Reparations Youth Baton Relay and Rally, a project of the CARICOM Reparations Committee, gets underway in Jamaica tomorrow. The CARICOM Relay and Rally is part of a wider effort to spread the reparations message around the Caribbean through public education and other initiatives focused on youth. The relay kicks off in Morant Bay, St. Thomas. Those were the local and regional stories. Sports is next. In sports, Jamaica's sprint star Asafa Powell will be specially honored by the patrons and organizers of the CB Group UWI 5K run on November 12. Powell specializes in the 100 meters and held the 100 meters world record between June 2005 and November 2008. His personal best of 9.72 seconds ranks 4th on the male all-time list. As of September 1, 2016, Powell has broken the 10-second barrier 97 times, more than anyone else in history. This achievement has been recognized by the Guinness Book of World Records. And that's news and sports. Stay tuned. Weather is next. And thanks for staying with us right here on PBCJ, the People's Station. And time now for a weather report and forecast. There is a trough across the central Caribbean, including Jamaica. The trough is expected to remain across the area through the weekend, while a tropical wave is then expected to influence weather conditions across the island on Friday. Now, it was partly cloudy with isolated showers across northeastern parishes this morning. This afternoon, we can expect isolated showers and thunderstorms across sections of central and western parishes. And tonight, it will be partly cloudy. Tomorrow, we will experience partly cloudy conditions across eastern parishes in the morning, then widely scattered showers and thunderstorms across most parishes. And time now for a regional travel forecast. And that's our weather report and forecast. Join us again tomorrow, same time, same place, for more news, sports, and weather right here on PBCJ, the People's Station.